Hello, and welcome to Intentional Leadership, the podcast show that will help you break the barriers holding you back from the true life of significance you are meant to live. I'm your host, Janelle Bruland, and I invite you to join us as I share leadership lessons and specific strategies to transform your leadership, crush your goals, and love your life. Are you ready? Let's go. This is Janelle Bruland. Welcome to the Intentional Leadership Podcast. How are you doing on accomplishing your goals? Less than 10% of people are successful in achieving the goals they have set for themselves. In order to grow in our leadership and to move ourselves and our companies forward, we need to improve on our ability to not only set, but achieve our biggest goals. In this episode, we're going to talk about how to get started on the most important thing, to identify what is most important for you right now. And I will provide you with some specific steps to help you get started to bring about positive change and results in your life this year. The 3 key points we will cover today in this episode. Number 1, determine what you have been putting off. I'm going to help you unpack what is the I will do this later in your life. Number 2, identify the most important thing you need to do. It's easy to allow work and life to get in the way of what is truly most important. And number 3, create a specific action plan to accomplish your goal. Once you've identified what you want to accomplish, then you need a plan so you can achieve the goal. I want you to be at the end of this year looking back thrilled that you made it happen. It's February already. Can you believe it? Just 2 months into the new year, and most of us, around 75% according to statistics, have already given up on those New Year's resolutions we've made for the year. People make resolutions as they desire change. However, when it comes down to the commitment, the hard work of it required to actually accomplish them, most people don't have the bandwidth and consequently drop out in a matter of weeks. Here are a few of the top resolutions people make each year. Is one of these on your list? Lose weight, get organized, stay fit and healthy, spend less, save more, enjoy life to the fullest, learn something new, spend more time with family. As I said, less than 10% of people are successful in accomplishing their goals. I believe most people set their goals with good intentions, and as they start out, it's their true desire to make them happen. But one of the big problems I've seen in my own life and in the lives of leaders that I coach is life just gets in our way. All of our responsibilities, the constant barrage of information from all different sources, and we allow ourselves to get distracted. It's a common struggle. I remember when I was in the 2nd grade, my mom signed me up for piano lessons. And I was really excited. This was going to be something fun and new to learn. Admittedly, though, I'm easily distracted. And if it wasn't for my disciplined mother, I would have quit in the first year. Coming home on the school bus and a girlfriend asking me to play after school, if it was a nice sunny day out, the last thing that I wanted to do is to go and practice my piano. And I would really rather bike over to a friend's house to play instead. Well, I would try to opt out, and my mom would march me back to the piano, and I would sit down at the keys to practice every day. Well, thanks to her, I stuck out with it, and now I'm grateful that I can actually sit at a piano and play anytime. Still, as an adult, I find myself easily distracted. Can you relate? Talking to some of the entrepreneurs that I coach about this, we agreed it's so easy to get distracted by everything going on, especially when you're trying to manage multiple responsibilities, like running a business, raising a family, helping out in your community. It's so easy to get buried in our responsibilities, in work, in putting out the day-to-day fires that you unknowingly lose track of what's really important. So here's a question for you, my friends. What is the most important thing you have to do to start or to finish in this next year? What is that one thing that you've just kept putting off saying, I will get to this later? I know this is important. I will get to this later. I'm just too busy right now. I'll get to this later. And then a year, 5 years, a decade goes by, and the distractions of living on automatic have left you standing in the same place. No matter what you do, life does happen. A year from now, a decade from now, there will be results in your life. These can be positive results, a life of abundance, freedom of time, strong relationships, high energy, or the opposite, a life of scarcity and struggle. So the good news is you can choose a life of abundance and determine the most important thing you need to do right now. So let's go through the 3 steps. Number 1, ask yourself what you've been putting off. If you listen to your gut, it will tell you. It's that thing you keep telling yourself that you should do, that you're going to get to it, but you've allowed other things to get in the way. Perhaps it's that degree you would like to finish. It's the new career you would like to start. Maybe it's a relationship that you know you need to mend. As a leader in your business, it may be that person that you need to hire, that you've put off. Or maybe it's the one where you know it's time to part ways. There needs to be an ending, but you procrastinated on it. Is there a client that you need to go after? Is there a client that perhaps you need to say goodbye to? Maybe they've been a client for a number of years and you like the relationship, but they're just not profitable and you know that it's not one that you need to take into your future. Is there an idea that you have for a new service line or a product that you'd like to explore? I've thrown a lot of different options at you, and this can go several different ways. But what is it for you? Ask yourself, what have you been putting off? Your gut will tell you. Number 2, identify the most important thing you need to do and write it down. This year, I will, you fill in the blank. Just the act of writing down a purpose-filled goal gives you a significantly better chance of achieving it. Think about how it will feel to set that goal, something that you really want to have happen, and then see it through. One of the tough things here is you may have a lot of things that you want to have happen. Perhaps on point 1, when you were identifying what you've been putting off, there were many items on your list over the last year, the last many years that you put off. You have to narrow this down. For the purpose of this exercise, you are narrowing this list down to one thing. If you could choose only one thing this year, what would it be? And then number 3, create a specific action plan to accomplish your goal. The more detailed your action plan, the better your results will be. If you truly desire change in your life and you want this year to be different than other years, here are 3 things to be sure are part of this action plan. Identify your desired result and be specific about what you want to accomplish, why, and by when. So here's an example. Let's say the most important thing that you need to do is hire a new manager or a personal assistant for yourself. So this goal on its own may fail as it's not specific or time-bound. So instead, say it this way. I will hire a new operations manager so I can delegate some of the day-to-day duties that are taking a significant amount of my time by April 1. See the difference? So identify the desired result, then track it. What gets measured gets done. So once you identify the desired result, identify the action steps to accomplish your goal. Whatever your goal is, track these activities every day. Now, this can be done simply in a journal, or there's a number of great apps out on the market to measure your progress. It doesn't really matter how you're doing it, just so you're tracking it. So whether you're tracking exercise or meals or sales calls or time spent with your kids, just seeing the regular results of your efforts will keep you moving forward. And then finally, make sure you're reviewing your progress. Set up a regular appointment with yourself to review your progress. I'm typically doing this for myself on a weekly basis where I sit down once a week on Mondays, and I review the goal that I'm working on and what the specific action plan is, and I'm checking in and I'm making sure that I'm continuing to work forward on that goal. If you want help on setting goals and actually achieving them, check out my Success Goals online course. And in it's a proven process to set big goals and achieve them. And there's more information available at my website, janellebruland.com, if you're interested. So let's review what we've discussed in this podcast. So you want to get started on what's most important right now. Here's the 3 things you need to do. Number 1, ask yourself what you've been putting off. Unpack that. What is it you keep saying I will do later in your life? 2, identify the most important thing you need to do and write it down. Just the act of writing down a purposeful goal gives you a significantly better chance of achieving it. And number 3, create a specific action plan to accomplish your goal. Remember, the more detailed your action plan, the better your results will be. My friends, what is the most important thing that you have to do to start, to finish in this next year? Don't wait. Get started on this most important thing. Do it now. Be willing to do the work and make this next year your best year. I've included in this podcast a leader's guide with some questions you can use to review what we've discussed today. You can download this for free at janellebruland.com/podcast. Use this exercise for your own personal reflection, or these are also great to use with your team or your family. We release a new episode each month, and some months you will get bonus episodes. If you're enjoying what you're hearing, I would appreciate you sharing this content with others so they can grow in their leadership. My goal is to provide you high-value content each time. And if you've enjoyed this podcast, it would mean a lot to me if you would share on social media. If you write a review or rate it, it can increase the exposure, which is helpful to get the word out to others that want to grow in their leadership. Thank you for taking the time to listen in today. If you have any questions, please email me at janelle@legacy-leader.com. Remember, when you grow as a leader, your team will grow and your company will grow. You can transform your leadership, crush your goals, and love your life.